Chair recognizes Mr. Evangelidis of Holden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and through you to the members. I have filed an amendment that I would just like to briefly explain to the membership. It's a very simple amendment, and it does the following. Right now, sex offenders are classified after their conviction as levels 1, 2, or 3. And as many of you may know already, level 3 sex offenders are readily available to all of our constituents when they have concern about who is living amongst them. They can go online in the comforts of their home, and they can look on the sex offender registry, and they have the ability to see all level 3 sex offenders that live in any community they so wish. And not only do they get the information as to where the sex offenders live, but they get a photograph of the sex offender, they get to understand the charges that the sex offender has, and they can have at least some small comfort in knowing that if there is a level 3 sex offender, they have the ability to know where they are. And our sex offender registry does as well as it can to keep track of them. Level 2 sex offenders now are people that are less likely to repeat. That's the standard of a 1, 2, or 3 and the seriousness of the offense. But level 2 sex offenders also are fully available to the public. There is no privacy issue involved in a level 2 sex offender. You, the public, and your constituents have every right to understand who they are, where they live, what they look like. The only problem, and I think it's somewhat antiquated, is that level 2 sex offenders, you have to take the initiative, go to your police station, go fill out a form and say, I would like to know who the sex offenders are of level 2 in my community. And I've spoken to so many people through the years who said, I went to the town, I filled out that paperwork, it took a while. I filled out that paperwork, that was 2 years ago. I didn't realize a level 2 sex offender had moved next door to me because I didn't have the time to keep going back. If I had the ability to be at my home and maybe on your favorites list of your computer you had the sex offender registry, you'd have the ability to periodically check that. Now, level 1 sex offenders are those who are the lowest likely to repeat. Those are only known to your police chiefs. They're not public knowledge records. What my amendment would simply do would take the level 3 sex offenders who are readily available online and classify level 2s to the same extent of availability. I think every one of our constituents would be very grateful to us for having the ability to access level 2s and level 3s from the comfort of their home and from somewhere that they have a reliable, regular source of information. They should not be required to jump through hoop after hoop after hoop when there is no privacy issue at stake. This merely is an amendment that makes it easier for our constituents to get the information that the legislature and our judiciary have said they are fully entitled to. Now, I want to say that today, this bill we are dealing with today is predominantly in the prosecution of sex offenders, and that this amendment has to do with post-conviction of sex offenders. And I would like to inform the membership that I have spoken to the chairman of Judiciary, and he's assured me that there is my amendment as well as other amendments today that were filed that will be more appropriately dealt with during this legislative term. We are going to, at another time before we adjourn, as a membership, discuss and debate post-conviction of sex offenders. And I just want to let the membership know that I am deeply concerned about this issue. I believe it is an issue that would benefit all of us. I can't even imagine a rational explanation why this amendment would not be adopted. But I do agree with the chairman of the judiciary at this time. There will be a more appropriate time to debate this particular amendment. And at this time, Mr. Speaker, I would withdraw my amendment with the expectation and assurance that we will be debating this amendment again soon in this session before we recess in August. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.